The opulent chandeliers of the Sterling Manor sparkled like captured stars, casting a warm glow over the polished marble floors. Young Eddy, dressed in a tailored suit that felt far too stiff, observed the adult chatter with a practiced bored politeness. He longed for something more real than the clinking of champagne glasses and the empty laughter of his father's business associates. He felt like a bird in a gilded cage watching the world through ornate bars. Beyond the mansion's vast, manicured lawns, nestled against the sprawling factory complex his family owned, lay the humble, bustling neighborhood where Lucy lived. Her small, cozy home hummed with the comforting sounds of family life, a stark contrast to Eddy's silent, grand halls. Lucy, her hands stained with flour from helping her mother bake bread, looked out her window at the factory, a symbol of both her family's livelihood and the invisible wall separating her world from Eddy's. She often wondered about the people who lived in the magnificent house on the hill, so close yet so impossibly far. One sweltering afternoon, fate, or perhaps just a broken bicycle chain, brought their paths together on a dusty path bordering the factory grounds. Eddy, attempting a shortcut home, found his expensive mountain bike rendered useless. Lucy, returning from an errand, saw his frustrated expression and, despite a pang of caution, stopped to offer help. Their eyes met for the first time, bridging a gap that society had tried to enforce. Eddy, used to people fawning over him, was disarmed by Lucy's no-nonsense approach and skilled hands as she quickly assessed his bike. Her simple cotton dress and practical shoes were so different from the polished girls at his private school, yet her presence held an undeniable charm. He found himself drawn to her genuine kindness and the quiet strength in her gaze. He felt an unfamiliar warmth bloom in his chest, a feeling he instinctively knew was different. As Lucy expertly fixed the chain, her fingers smudged with grease, she spoke of her dreams of studying design, of creating beautiful things, a stark contrast to the repetitive work her father did in Eddy's family factory. Eddy listened, captivated, realizing how little he knew about lives beyond his privileged bubble. He saw her passion, untainted by wealth or status. He found himself wanting to know every single thing about her world. They began to meet in secret, in the hidden alcoves of the old public library, amidst the rustling leaves of the forgotten city park, or by the quiet banks of the river at twilight. Each stolen moment was a thrilling rebellion against the expectations of their families. Their conversations flowed easily, spanning from school assignments to their deepest fears and wildest dreams. Their worlds, though still separate, began to intertwine in a delicate dance. One evening, under the soft glow of a street lamp, after a particularly heartfelt conversation, Eddy confessed his feelings, his voice hushed and vulnerable. Lucy, her heart pounding, admitted her own affections, the words a brave leap of faith into the unknown. They shared their first tentative kiss, a sweet, hesitant touch that sealed their unspoken pact. The simple act felt like the beginning of everything, a powerful secret binding them together. But the whispers eventually reached the wrong ears. A nosy groundskeeper, loyal to the Sterling family, observed their clandestine meetings and reported back to Eddy's father. The news hit Eddy's father like a thunderclap, a betrayal of his carefully laid plans for his son's future. His rage was cold and absolute, threatening to disrupt both families. The secret, once a source of joy, now cast a long, menacing shadow. The confrontation was brutal. Eddy's father, a formidable man of stern will, laid down an ultimatum: end the relationship or face severe consequences that would impact Lucy's family, specifically her father's job at the factory. The weight of his father's power pressed down on Eddy, threatening to crush not just his love but Lucy's entire world. He knew he was caught between his heart's desire and the crushing burden of responsibility. With a heavy heart, Eddy sought Lucy out one last time, the words of goodbye catching in his throat. Tears streamed down Lucy's face, not just for their broken love but for the stark injustice of it all, knowing her father's livelihood was being held hostage. Their last embrace was filled with unspoken promises and the bitter taste of forced sacrifice. Their young love, a fragile bloom of spring, was brutally uprooted by the harsh realities of their divided world.